What do you want me to do? Comes into my dressing room, he wants to take a film of me. He says, what are you going to do? Bring it back to Connecticut? What are you going to do?
Yeah, Connecticut.
Huh? You going to bring it back to show all your friends in Connecticut?
Yeah.
They want to know what I'm really like, don't they,
I
huh?
want to know what Andy...
Yeah, what do you want me to do? Do that stupid character for you? I don't want this film to be shown anywhere. You understand? I don't want anybody to see that I'm really like this, okay? You're the only one. I don't want anybody else to see. I don't want to disillusion your friends, okay?
Okay.
They think I'm this lovable, wonderful guy.
Yeah.
Little do they know, huh? Little do they know.
So I guess I should start with Harry White. Harry White is a character from a novel called The Demon by Hubert Selby Jr. that doesn't even hold its own Wikipedia entry. At the start of the narrative, Harry has but one main objective: women, particularly married women. The reason I'm sitting in the park dressed up like some snooty intellectual reading a novel published by Playboy Press in 1976 is because of Andy Kaufman. Whilst reading another book entitled Was This Man Crazy?, a collection of interviews conducted by Julie Hecht over 2 years at the height of his performance career, Andy claimed the novel was his absolute favorite, and that the book contained his mind in a nutshell. This is a shell that I desperately hope to crack, even just a little. You never loved me so long, you won't miss me. And now, here's Andy Kaufman! Kaufman grew to prominence in the mid-1970s with a peculiar brand of performance, which attempted to deceive, or in some cases trick his audiences to, in the most general sense, feel something. Whether this something was confused, hysterical, frustrated, frightened, angry, disgusted, happy, or sad, Kaufman seemed to know exactly how to gear his performances to elicit these responses.
What's he doing now?
Oh, he's playing with the medium.
But where other performers appear to have a break between their personal lives and their work, the thing with Andy is that everything he did appeared to be part of some sort of ad.
This is very touching. Andy Kaufman and his family...
When Andy was younger, he would take out ads in the local paper advertising himself as a children's party entertainer, showcasing an innate tendency to perform. When Kaufman reached college, it became clear that he was directionless. He was still living at home, and after a suggestion from his father to strive for something more, Andy adapted his party professional act to the nightclub stage. Andy confided to Heck that he felt that he had been laughed at his whole life, and a turning point for him came when he accepted that being laughed at could be just as satisfying to him, if not more so, than being laughed with.
I don't understand one thing. No, seriously. Why everyone is going boo on, like, the joke when I told some of the jokes, and then when I don't want you to laugh, you're laughing. Like right now. I don't understand.
The man who said he did not have a sense of humor, who expressed anguish over being referred to as a comedian.
I want to get one thing straight, is that I'm not doing comedy.
Admitted to taking a look at himself in the mirror and saying, "Andy, you can be a famous funny man if you'd like to be." A statement he responded to with an encouraged,
Okay. Okay.
This alone should cause his anti-comedy statement to become part of his experiments with deception. If Kaufman himself is getting comedic enjoyment out of his actions, does this not then categorize his work as some form of comedy? A historically convoluted genre that is geared by personal perception of what a funny thing is. Kaufman's first real mainstream breakthrough would become a character known as the Foreign Man, who came to America from the imagined country of Caspiar in order to pursue a career in stand-up comedy.
I want to do the comedian, to be in show business.
What do you mean? You want to tell jokes?
I want to tell the jokes.
Kaufman told Heck that the character was based upon a Pakistani comedian he once saw, who instead of laughter, generated unease from the audience.
They have the cannon, but they have no cannonball. They could not shoot. Do you understand?
Andy used his character to sort of suspend expectations of what a stand-up should provide his audience. He further subverts these expectations by entering a series of poor impersonations.
Hello? I am Steve Martin, and I am the wild and crazy man.
These would be punctuated by a spot-on impression of Elvis Presley, that the king himself has been rumored to have called one of his favorite Elvis tributes of all time.
Can knock me down, step on my face, slander my name all over the place.
An Elvis fan since childhood, Andy began imitating the king after seeing what he thought was a real Elvis performance. He later learned that he'd only seen an impersonator, so the imitation originated as an imitation of an imitation.
Go ahead, you gotta put on a microphone there, Elvis, or Andy, or whatever the heck your name is.
The Foreign Man would eventually be adapted for the 1978 sitcom Taxi as Laka Gravis, the show's bumbling foreign mechanic.
Do you have the correct time? My watch stopped.
The correct time is you're 8 minutes late.
Oh, thank you.
While Andy was notoriously unhappy with being part of a mainstream sitcom, he stuck with the show for the entirety of its 5-season run as a means to extend his celebrity as far as possible. Andy told a reporter during an interview that Julie Heck sat in on that the goals for his career were to play Radio City, make that movie, get the special on the air, and finally, to win the heart of a girl he once knew in high school. This last goal is part of a story Kaufman would eventually admit to Heck as being a distorted truth, as this pursuit was the initial goal of Kaufman's, but one he supposedly did complete. Andy claims he reconnected with his childhood dream girl, but when sparks didn't fly, he ultimately saw her as what he called a real opportunist bitch. The story then becomes no longer a truth. It's a half-truth, part of the culmination of elaborations and falsifications which make up Andy's frequently utilized character of the famous, mythic, convoluted performer known as Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman is me. I'm Andy Kaufman.
So there's two real yous, and then there's a character.
Well, there's some others also. There's other real me's. But...
Growing up, Andy's mother told Heck her son was always an angry person, unhappy and impatient. He overcame his shyness by actively living through his collective personas.
I thought, all right, I will develop this man, this character, and so I call it my American character, Andy.
So now you are speaking as you really speak.
Because this show is interested in the truth.
One of the most notorious identities associated with Kaufman was Tony Clifton. A crude Vegas lounge singer, Andy continually stressed that Clifton was a real person, and by splitting performance duties with his cohort Bob Zamuda, Andy toyed with the difference between person and persona.
And then Andy Kaufman came out afterwards.
But you never saw them on the stage together at the same time.
No, well, they don't do that.
No, we do.
How come you never blink?
Andy eventually took on the persona of a bad boy wrestler who would only wrestle women. This career shifted exactly what Kaufman wanted, spark outrage.
Now, I'm not saying women are mentally inferior to men. When it comes to them getting in the wrestling ring, there's nothing up there. They're all oatmeal north of the eyebrows.
Andy embodied this character so intensely that his public opinion became tarnished.
When I do the wrestling act, I'm playing a role of a villain, so that they'll really dislike me and hope that I lose, and get really excited.
Acting as an implied satire of masochism, the wrestling character is similar to characters such as Sacha Baron Cohen's Borat, which comments on American perception of Arabs, but mainly just caused a bunch of controversy. These and many other controversy-tinged performances resulted in a televised public poll in 1982, wherein Andy's future with Saturday Night Live, the show that initially jump-started his career, was left to the hands of the public. When the results were tallied, Andy Kaufman was effectively banned from the show. Shortly afterwards, Taxi was cancelled, and in an interesting bit of self-referential humor, Kaufman attempted to turn his apparent failures into a homeless version of himself on David Letterman, the only show that would still book him.
I know this sounds like a cliche, but if you could, any extra money that you have, I would appreciate it.
In reference to Selby's demon novel, Andy said, "There's a demon inside of every man." Whereas White's demon was a selfish desire for self-satisfaction, Kaufman's personal demon seemingly was his constant need to take on a persona other than his own. In this way, the book really does become an insight into Andy, since both men allowed their obsessions to become their downfall. When Kaufman was diagnosed with lung cancer in 1983, he was faced with intense doubt. Even those very close to him have been said to have thought the diagnosis was part of an elaborate scheme. So, by living through his characters, Andy seemed to have avoided creating a relatable version of himself. I see this as a tale of a man lost in a sea of assumed personas. In the digital age of Facebook, which adds unexplored dimensions to the art of self-presentation, the pursuit of authenticity may become meaningless, but at the same time, essential. At the end of her book about Andy, Julie Hecht includes a conversation with his mother. When discussing her son's career, she said, "The best part is that he's happy. What you do in life has to be what you love, and now he has that." So I may not know who Andy Kaufman was outside of the sum of his assumed personas. What I do know is his mom seemed to think he was happy, and for some reason, that's enough for me.
What else do you want to know?
Take a pause. Just say, get out of here. I don't even want to see it. Okay.
Nah, I don't want to do that.
Can you do something?
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
You want me to be the bad guy?
Running out of film.
Okay, look, get out of here. Get out. Turn that camera off. Get out of here. Get out. Come on, get out. Come on. Get out of here. Get out. Get out. Come on, turn it off. Get out. Come on. Get out. Get out. Woo! Come on, get out. Woo! Come on, get out of here. Get out of here. Stop bothering me. Get out of here. Get out of here.
All right, great. Thanks, Andy.
Okay,
Oh, he's
you're welcome. That's what you wanted?
such a nice boy.